Last night, the House Homeland Security Committee Republicans approved 2 articles of impeachment against Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas just after midnight. So that means it is out of the committee. It is full to the full House. So we're going to see action on it this week. It passed out of committee along party lines. No one is surprised by that. No Republican had any problem with this. They think that all of this makes sense. This sham impeachment that they have cooked up against the Homeland Security Secretary. How sham is it? How extreme is it to impeach a cabinet member because you don't like that there are migrants? Well, if they successfully vote to impeach him, it will be the first cabinet member to be impeached since 1876. This is so very much not a thing that is done. We've had crises. We've had disagreements. We've had tribalism in America. We've had the party not like a variety of different secretaries for good reason, incompetence, a refusal to do your job. It has not resulted in impeachment of a cabinet member in 150 years, but that is the road that they are now leading us down. And it's not just radical from my perspective, even their traditional allies think that this is a pointless, boneheaded move. So Alan Dershowitz, big defender of Donald Trump, specifically in his impeachment, published an op-ed arguing that Mayorkas has not committed bribery, treason, or high crimes and misdemeanors, and that most Republicans are prepared to apply a double standard based on partisan considerations. That is 100% what they're doing. It feels weird to agree with Alan Dershowitz, but he's right. And even the Wall Street Journal, stalwart defenders of conservatives on most issues, says it achieves nothing. A dispute on policy does not qualify as a high crime and misdemeanor, which is 100% the case. And yet, they're probably going to do it. They only need a few defections to fail, Sharon. But do you think that it's likely that those defections could come? I imagine that if you vote against this, that's it for you on the right. But what do you think?
Yeah, you'll be ostracized. You'll be kicked out of MAGA world. Trump will order it. I think it'll probably go through, okay? Because wow, it's weird. I agree with Alan Dershowitz as well. They already impeached an attorney general. So why not go for a cabinet member this time? You know, you had Eric Holder before, that was a first and a distraction. And now you have something like this. This, as you actually get an offer with just about everything you want on the border. And then you say, one is too many. And we just push back.
Yeah, we got through, like when I think back to the Trump cabinet, people who are specifically chosen because of their desire to dismantle the area of bureaucracy that they are ostensibly there to manage. Not impeached. Betsy DeVos, not impeached. But for some reason, in this case, he has to be. Now, Republicans say that they are obligated to impeach Mayorkas because he has forsaken his duty to defend the border. The border, which they say is in the middle of a crisis. And it's a big crisis, so big that they have to impeach him, but not big enough to do literally anything to solve it. I will remind you, Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, who will be voting for Mayorkas to be impeached, has already said that the bipartisan Senate border deal has been worked on for months. That includes some things that Biden wants and a lot of things that the right has been asking for, is dead on arrival. And we already know full well why that is. Trump continues to pressure the right wing to reject this deal, bleeding the illegal aliens that are pouring into our capital C country are taking over our double-spaced cities and attacking our police. They are forming gangs and they are tough. Close the border. You do not need a ridiculous border bill that will allow 5,000 people into our country a day. Call it the stupid bill and make sure it doesn't get past it. I don't know what happened with that. It will make things much worse. Close the southern border, no bill necessary. So there's a lot of issues there. The 5,000 person a day thing, that's something that the right is all saying in the bill. There's no evidence that it is actually in the bill, but they don't know or care. Call it the stupid bill, but don't pass it. Don't do anything. Because if Joe Biden gets a deal passed with the right, even giving them tons of what they want on the border, allowing conservative principles such as they are to drive how the border is secured, that will be seen as a win for him. And maybe that's good for the Republicans. Maybe that's good for the country in some sense. But so long as it is not good for Donald Trump, he has no interest in it. This is not America first. This is America maybe eventually at some point, but me right now. That's what we're seeing. And so Speaker Johnson can say that he's not dismissing the border deal to help Trump, saying that's absurd. Sure. We know exactly why you're doing it. We know the meetings that you've had behind the scenes. We know the constant pressure you're under on social media. So you can try to defend your reputation, imply that you're a big, strong man that would never be influenced by Donald Trump. But we saw the about face that the right made on this topic once Donald Trump took interest in it. Sharon, what do you think?
And then members of the other chamber, remember, flat out said it. I mean, they just said, yeah, it's him. And we're just going to stand back for now, Mitch McConnell and others. If me first were a person, there he is, okay? And it's so sad that this is what we're dealing with. You're right, it's such a crisis and people are being threatened, and I'm sure they're gonna throw the rape and murder thing around as much as they can about this, migrants crossing the border and everything. Problem is though, the people who actually live down there, conservatives, many of them said, but we don't want this. They rejected Greg Abbott's tactics. And so now you have Trump saying, well, we're going to leave it alone for now, and then we'll let everybody through until I get in office and I fix things correctly. That's what's stupid.
I think about how long, like if you believe that it's a serious crisis, what, like a year? Let's wait for a year. No big deal.
Want to do it right.
What do you actually think? Yeah, we got to do it right. We got to do it right when we care about it.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.